Hey everybody, welcome to Far Out Dude Reacts.
I'm one of your co-hosts, Joseph.
And the other one, Paul. And in this episode, we're actually going to do a reaction to the numerous numbers of body count from the Clintons.
From their alleged...
Oh, sorry. The alleged
body count. None of it's been confirmed because everyone who's involved always can't handle how much stuff there's going on and wants to self-inflict wounds to themselves.
Yes, very, very much self-inflicted wounds that have been happening. So we're going to do a self-inflicted wound body count here. And so if you haven't watched our previous videos, Kevin Ives and Don Henry and Vincent Foster, we actually are going to start with that current body count, which is here. Okay. And so we're going to actually finish the video of the continuous body count from the Clintons. You'll watch this little ticker go up each time a name is given.
Okay, let's watch. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's get that ticker ticking.
The following are a few of the many casualties of those having knowledge or involvement in one or more of the Clinton scandals. In order to save time, only a partial list is shown. July 1978, Susan Coleman allegedly became pregnant after having an affair with Clinton, a problem which threatened to disrupt Clinton's election bid. She committed suicide by shooting herself in the back of the head.
In the back of the head.
Yeah.
We've learned that
that's going to be quick and painless.
That is definitely a telltale sign that the Clintons are not involved in this. When there are bullet wounds in the back of the head. Let's continue. We'll try not to interrupt that much, but okay, this adds to another tick on that alleged body count.
August 1991. Danny Casoloro was a reporter who investigated various scandals in Arkansas, including Clinton's Arkansas Development and Finance Authority and MENA. He had warned his family that his life was in danger, and if he were found dead of an apparent accident or suicide, not to believe it. Casoloro was found dead in a bathtub in a West Virginia hotel room.
Let me guess.
With his wrist slit. His death was ruled a suicide.
Yeah, it sounds about
July
right.
1992. C. Victor Razer II was a national finance co-chairman of Clinton's presidential campaign, who died in a plane crash near Anchorage, Alaska.
We've heard of those
With his
too.
inside knowledge of the Clinton administration, he allegedly had become disillusioned by what he had seen and thus became a potential liability. His son Montgomery also died in the same crash. Herschel Friday was a member of Victor Razer's campaign finance committee. Although he was a top-notch pilot, he died a year and a half later when his plane crashed and exploded as it approached the runway. His death was ruled an accident.
This is like becoming one of their fortes. Like, okay, you know that the dude literally says, like, if anything happens to me,
Yeah.
I didn't do it to myself.
Yeah, if I were to die in a weird way or commit self-inflicted wounds to myself, don't believe it.
So you have I like the way they started this. Was like the first two
and it goes back to 1978.
Yes. So you have two passings that were self-inflicted. Okay, somebody reaching behind their back. That's
a pregnant woman.
That's definitely how people do it.
Yes.
You know, when they really want to get themselves, they get that nice reach.
I'm really tired. I don't want to have Bill Clinton's baby, which I don't blame her. So,
yeah, exactly.
Back this way?
I
don't. Yeah. Depends on. Plus, well, you gotta have like the length of it too. So it's the barrel.
Doesn't matter.
It's a weird way to want to do it.
That it just makes sense. Just like the other ones who like in the Kevin Ives and Don Henry video where they like self-inflicted gunshot wounds.
Well, the thing was that they ended up smoking too much Mary Jane and passing out on the railroad tracks.
Yep. That makes sense.
As typical teenagers did.
You know, especially
all the time. It was an epidemic thing.
And then you have their other the other things that continuously happen to unsuspecting friends of Clinton is just continuous plane crashes.
Yes.
You know, Ron Brown from our Vincent Foster video, he too died in a plane crash.
Yep.
You know, it just so happens, no fault of his
so
own.
Happened to have that little
he had a
circular
he had
wound.
the bullet wound in the back of his head, which he probably did a self-inflicted wound before the plane crashed.
Mm-hmm.
That adds up, you know.
Multiple times.
That definitely makes sense.
So many coincidences.
Yeah. Plane crashes.
I just want to point out, I'm for Bill Clinton. These are just crazy circumstances and coincidences that tend to happen.
It makes total sense.
Since his college years, poor guy. Can you imagine being Bill Clinton and having all this done? This happening to you is terrible.
Imagine
and being blamed for it.
Everyone around you just continues to die. I have my feelings for Bill Clinton on this one. Imagine that everyone he becomes friends with, everyone he impregnates, just continues to pass. It's sad. It's very sad.
I'm with you, Bill Clinton.
It's just terrible.
Let's keep this one going.
December 1992, Paula Gober was a speech interpreter and had traveled with Clinton extensively from 1978 until her death. She died in a car accident. December 1992, Jim Wilhite was an associate of Mac McClarty's former firm. He had called McClarty just hours before dying in a skiing accident. January 1993, Ed Cawley, a former Clinton campaign finance chairman in Arkansas, was found dead in a hotel room. May 1993, John Wilson, a Washington, D.C. city councilman, had decided to come forward with inside knowledge he possessed regarding Whitewater. Wilson was found hanged. His death was ruled a suicide.
There they go again. That word.
Yeah.
Self-inflicted
and you know,
wounds.
there's definitely a lot of the witnesses that were part of the Whitewater investigation situation that was happening, the whole Whitewater escapades that we like to call them. It was definitely something that depressed a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully, as we were talking about before, Bill Clinton, he's been very strong throughout all this. Prospered, one would say, throughout all of these poor deaths around his friends and family.
He's definitely moved up the ranks during these difficult times of his.
What he does, he takes the bad and molds into something good and prosperous for himself, his wife, his kids, anyone else who backs him.
I would say definitely he and his wife very much prosper each other. And everyone around him,
I think he goes out
lives in complete fear.
I think he goes out and prospers women more than with his wife.
I think that's a safe assumption that you have.
He wants to give back to the community, so he's very prosperous with other women.
Yes.
Not so much his wife.
Yes, I like that. That makes sense right there. All right, let's continue.
June 1993, Paul Wilcher, a Washington, D.C. attorney, wrote a 105-page letter to Attorney General Janet Reno describing evidence he had concerning drug and gun running out of Mena, Arkansas. On the first page of his letter, he stated, quote, "The lives of key participants, other witnesses, and even myself are now in grave danger as a result of my passing this information on to you. If you let this information fall into the hands of the wrong persons, some or all of those who know the truth could well be silenced in the very near future," unquote. Wilcher was found dead in his apartment. The coroner did not rule on the cause of death. August 1993, John Walker was a senior investigator for the Resolution Trust Corporation. He was looking for information concerning a $50 million transfer from an RTC fund in Chicago to Madison Guarantee Savings and Loan to cover up a $47 million embezzlement scheme that included Whitewater and the Clintons. Walker mysteriously fell to his death from an apartment balcony. His death was ruled a suicide.
So he mysteriously fell, but still it's rude, self-inflicted.
Yes. So you have Mr. Paul.
Did they find a letter from him like 2-3 days later?
Mm-hmm.
Like they did with Foster?
With Hillary Clinton's hands on it?
Yeah, with their fingerprints on there.
So Paul obviously had a lot of information on the Mena, Arkansas drug running scheme that was happening. Somehow, mysteriously.
A 105-page letter.
Yes.
September 1993.
Well,
Dr. Stanley Hurd was a longtime friend and family physician of the Clintons and was chairman of Hillary's Health Reform Committee. He was killed in a plane crash only a few days after Stephen Dixon, the attorney for the Health Reform Committee, had been killed in the crash of his own light plane. March 1994, Dr. Donald Rogers, the Clintons' dentist, was traveling to meet London Sunday Telegraph reporter Ambrose Evans Pritchard with information on the Clinton scandals. Rogers and his pilot were killed when their twin-engine Cessna crashed in clear weather near Lawton, Oklahoma. Their deaths were ruled an accident.
So pause that real quick.
May 1994.
Even his dentist isn't... Like, what kind of secrets and stuff does his dentist have on him?
Physicians, if you're a physician, if you're a dentist, I would be weary and be cautious about taking care of your patients. That
don't ask too many questions.
That may be in the higher rankings of the U.S. government.
Gandhi Baugh, Dan Lassiter's attorney, committed suicide by jumping out of the window of a tall building. His partner committed suicide 1 month later. June 1994, Stanley Huggins was a partner in a Memphis law firm who investigated the dealings of Madison Guarantee Savings and Loan. He produced a 300-page report that has never been made public. Huggins was found dead, reportedly of viral pneumonia.
There goes.
Oh, they tried a different tactic there.
Yeah.
They're like,
again, there goes that Madison Savings and Loan situation again.
Yeah.
Of somebody who was writing a report, who was planning on probably testifying, no longer, well, just like the ulcer thing.
Yeah.
Viral pneumonia.
Yeah. And there's, 300 pages this time?
I would have to say, you know what? To be the devil's advocate, defend the Clintons. Some of these do seem like legit, car crash, possibly, viral pneumonia. That's what they say, you never know. So there could be, these could be just simple coincidences.
July 1994. Calvin Walraven was a 24-year-old police informant. He testified for the prosecution against Kevin Elders, son of Surgeon General Jocelyn Elders, which resulted in the conviction of Mr. Elders for drug trafficking. A few days later, after the trial, Mr. Walraven was found with a gunshot wound to the head. His death was ruled a suicide.
Makes sense.
October 1994, Florence Martin was an accountant who allegedly had documents as well as the PIN number to an account that had been set up in the name of Barry Seal for $1.46 million at the Fuji Bank in the Cayman Islands. Martin was found dead of 3 gunshot wounds to the head. November 1996, Barbara Wise was a Commerce Department staffer. She was found dead in her locked office at the Department of Commerce, partially nude and covered with bruises.
Wow, okay. That was a lot more than I was expecting. I thought they were just going to, pop up 3-4 names.
At what point do you go, we have to be very careful on the bodyguards and escorts that we send around Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Because they
gotta
obviously
send deaf ones.
I mean, how do you go through that 12? By the way, I was counting as it was going up. 12 names were given in that. At what point do you go, it's a little suspicious that these people are just...
and those are just the 12.
Yeah.
Those. Not counting everyone else that we just went over.
Yeah.
And everyone before them.
And by the way, this is just from like the 80s and 90s. So we don't know what's happened in the last few decades.
Yeah. Imagine.
Let's continue on. Let's see what else they have on this video. It looks like there's only a few minutes left. So it says, my name would be Mud, my FBI career would be over, and I might even be in danger if the stories coming from Little Rock were true about how so many enemies of the Clintons ended up having fatal accidents. I like that. Fatal accidents.
Yes.
Yes, that makes sense.
What they don't put in there was him going like this. Fatal accidents.
Ah, yes, the quotation marks around fatal accidents. You know, Mr. Special Gary Aldrich, special FBI agent assigned to the White House during that time.
I like the calming music there is here.
Yeah. As they show multiple articles of all of the Clintons'
by the spring of 1998,
criminal
the Clintons
activities
are besieged on all sides by criminal and civil investigations. Not since Richard Nixon has a White House been so under suspicion for acts of wrongdoing, both before and during the presidency. The subjects under investigation range from sexual exploitation and petty abuses of power to bribery, obstruction of justice, financial corruption, and election fraud. One congressional committee gathered sworn testimony linking the President of the United States to drug money and organized crime. If Bill Clinton manages to escape justice, his White House will serve as a model for future presidents who may believe that they too are above the law. They may even believe they can win elections by selling U.S. policy and our nation's secrets to foreign nations in exchange for campaign contributions.
Wow, when have we heard that lately?
Have you heard that recently of selling U.S. secrets, possibly, and for campaign money? Not necessarily. I don't think we've heard of them like selling any of this, but that U.S. secrets have just been laying around in people's garages where anybody could get in. Oh, wait, sorry, no. It's a locked garage, my friend.
Yes. Do not forget that, sir.
Sorry.
It was locked, secured, technically secured still.
Our apologies that these are secure, secret, confidential,
top secret.
Top secret. No one should ever see these inside of someone's locked garage. That sounds safe to me. That sounds safe to me.
Let me ask you this question. You know the best way to hide something?
Plain sight.
Hide it in plain sight. And where else but just sitting in your garage?
They're
going to go looking in your safe, attic, any open spaces.
Yeah.
But will they go to your garage and look at some random boxes you have sealed there with the giant red letters saying top secret?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
In a Manila, in a Manila envelope. Jeez. In a Manila in a Manila envelope inside your garage that says top secret. No one's going to look into that at all. So we want to thank everybody for watching. Let us know if you like this video. Let us know if you like the reaction. Let us know if you know any other good video to watch on the Clinton body count that we haven't been watching these last few episodes. And like, share, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. And you can find us where, Joseph?
Anywhere you find podcasts, really. You can find us YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you find podcasts online. Also Rumble.
So thank you, and we'll see you next time on Far Out Dudes.
This is the end.